both of these guys have a muscular imbalance. And while they've been able to make their muscular imbalance work for them, us as the regular training people do not want to develop a muscular imbalance. So if you want to avoid this sort of problem in your training, this is the video to watch. A muscular imbalance can cause problems with our training, our posture, and even injury. So we want to make sure we're doing nothing in our training to encourage a muscular imbalance. Now there's basically three different types of muscular imbalances. The first one is symmetrical, and that's where one side is different than the other. One leg could be bigger or smaller than the other, or one arm could be bigger than the other, like our arm wrestling friend here. Or we could have a proportional imbalance, and that's where one muscle group way overpowers the other. For example, you could have a big muscular back but have trouble building your chest, or it could be reversed. The other one that's quite common is an upper and lower imbalance, and that's where your legs may be very strong and you have trouble bringing up your upper body, or like a lot of us gym bros, we tend to train our upper bodies and neglect our legs a bit, so we end up having those bigger, more muscular upper bodies with the chicken legs. The third and final one is the one that we virtually all suffer from to a certain extent, and that's a strength imbalance, where our right arm or our left arm or our right side or left side, depending on which is our dominant side, is stronger than the other. So what causes these muscular imbalances? Well, it can be genetics, poor training techniques, injury, or a lack of flexibility and mobility. But the good news is we can correct these imbalances with a little bit of know-how. Now when it comes to genetics, there's not a lot we can do about it. But quite often what we find is that we end up training the muscles we like to train, whether it be our mirror muscles, and we keep working on our chest and our biceps, and before you know it, we have a weak back and triceps as a result. Or we have one muscle group that just responds really well to training, and we love the feel of training that muscle and seeing the growth and progress in that one area while neglecting other areas. It's quite common, as I mentioned earlier, to neglect leg day. But it's important to train our legs not just from a symmetrical standpoint, but also from a hormonal standpoint. Because training legs creates a positive hormonal response in the body that benefits our whole body in training. Bad technique is another way that a muscular imbalance can be created. And the best way to beat this is to focus on your form as you do the movement. You can also use the mirror to check out your technique, or you can videotape yourself. I do it all the time. You can get a friend to come and watch your form as you do the movement and let you know if there's any places you could improve. And even if you do body weight training, you can create a muscular imbalance. And if you already have one, you really need to make sure you focus on that side. So if you're doing push-ups, you really got to focus on the weaker side of the body, because your body naturally will compensate for the weaker side. Another great way to improve a weak side or to help bring it up is dumbbell training. Unilateral training is the best way to ensure your weaker side or your weaker body part is carrying its half of the load. So through improved technique done by better focus and unilateral training, you can bring up a weak part of the body. So when it comes to trying to correct an imbalance in opposing muscle groups, like your back and chest or your biceps and triceps, make sure you always prioritize the weaker muscle group first. So if your biceps are lagging behind your triceps, make sure you always train your biceps before your triceps to give them priority. Or if your back is a weaker group than your chest, make sure you're always training your back first in your training program. If you split your program up so you train a different body part every day, then make sure you're training that weak body part earlier in the week when you are fresher. So muscular imbalances can be beat, And we really should be trying to focus on them as soon as we start to see them in order to correct our training, to keep our training as even as possible. So this is Lawrence from Fit and 50. Keep working out, keep having fun, keep training and finding ways to improve your program. And we will talk to you in the next video with more helpful hints and tips.